I'm Robert and this is Manhattan Wood Project. I have in my grubby little hands a box from Charley and Linda Thomas. They sent me something that I'm going to unbox, put to use, and we'll see just how awesome it is. Let's get going.
So what should I make today? Manhattan Wood Project. That looks great!
It's only appropriate to have the X-Carve in the background, since this was sent to me as a part to be used with the X-Carve. It's an accessory. So let's see what's in there. Yeah. And now, the pièce de résistance. A vacuum sealed touch plate. The Triquetra CNC touch plate. I like the fact that it's all vacuum sealed and it was very well wrapped. So nothing's going to happen to this in shipping. I've plugged in the USB drive that came with this. Let's see what's on there. Wow, folder just for touch plate wiring. Okay. I need to take this wire, I need to solder one end of it, and then I'm going to put it into the A5 pin. Now that it's soldered, A5 pin. There we go. So I've got the wiring all set up. This white one goes to pin A5 on the Arduino. This black one goes to the V negative on the other side. I went ahead and took it one step further and used some bullet connectors to put them together. That way, if something went wrong or if I just didn't want to have it connected for some reason, I could take it apart. I've gone through and installed the Triquetra toolbox that they wrote, and it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of things on here. What I'm mostly going to be interested in is this zeroing in easel. Let me show you the touch plate setup. Now I've already gone through and done it, but it shows you exactly what to measure and how. I'm going to try zeroing an easel. Look at these numbers, they look familiar, and we're going to generate the G code. So I'm in easel now, and I found an image similar to the Triquetra. Let's go ahead and make it. Now you'll see that with just a single 1/8 inch bit, not everything gets cut out. There's a bunch of gaps and holes and things that don't get cut out. We're going to have to use a second bit to do a full cutout on it. And what I'll do is I'll really put this touch plate to the test. I will do the first cut with the 1/8 inch bit. I will move the board somewhere else on the cutting surface and re-zero it, and then we'll do the second cut with the 1/16 inch bit, and we'll see how well that turns out. Now watch the status light in the machine. In this case it's not red, but it's just blank. I'm going to briefly touch the bit with it. Turns green, and now I put it back. I like this because it's a dummy check. If your Z probe isn't working, or if your probe's not working, this will let you know before you drive your bit into your probe. And now it's sending the macro to touch the plate. Hit spacebar to continue. And this is real time. Hit spacebar to continue. Excellent. Hit spacebar continue, and it moves up and out of the way. Move the touch plate and the ground. Before I click OK to proceed, and proceed. And that right there looks like a pretty darn good home position to me. Better than I could have eyeballed. And now we're going to go through and do the regular carving things. Wow, that didn't do anything except a bunch of holes. Looks like I'm going to have to use a 16th inch bit as planned. Move the workpiece from right about here way over to there. Now, the important thing is that I kept my reference edge. I measured from here to this edge, 525 millimeters on both sides. That way I know that it's square just like it was. If I had it tilted down here, it would need to be tilted up here. Since I know my reference edge is square right there, let's go ahead and redo the touch plate the way we did before. I don't see any little divots from where this is misaligned or anything. And this is pretty darn good. I like it. One thing I really like about this touch plate is it's nice and thick. It has enough beef on it that for something like this one flute bit, you can touch the widest spot on it in multiple places without having to rotate it. Now some bits you're going to have to rotate them, like this wasteboard cutter. If you touch it like this, obviously it's not going to be as accurate as if you touch it like this. So you're going to have to touch it, take it, rotate it, and touch it again. But that can be done. That's not a problem. And looks like you can even use that for some of these little engraving bits. You obviously don't want to do it like this, but if you have just a little bit of shank sticking out, touch it, touch it. Seems to work. Now, the one bit that I do see it not working for is something like this long tapered bit, because by the time you get to the point where you're touching the shank, it's sticking down past the work. But there may even be a way around that. Charlie Thomas has had a separate suggestion. Now, if you want to zero something like this that you just don't have room for normally, get a bit that has the same size shank diameter, put it in there, zero it out, and then just change out bits and then re-zero the height. So I've been looking through the Triquetra toolbox at the program that came with the touch plate, and I gotta admit, there's a lot of stuff on there that I really like that I didn't expect. For stepper calibration, this is especially useful for the older X-Carves, but basically any machine that uses a stepper. And then these sections over here, you wouldn't really expect them to be here. Now contacts, you'd think, oh, well, that's how I get a hold of Charlie. Well, only if you put in Charlie's information. You can actually go in, add all of your contacts, and here they are. Here's the information. Customer orders. You can actually go in and put in order information. Parts book. Parts that you use in whatever projects. Then there's what he calls a recipe book. So let's say for shelf brackets that I'm making. I made them on the X-Carve on September 2nd using a 2-flute straight 1/8 inch bit, cutting into pine 1x8. My DeWalt was set to 3, which is about 20,400 RPM. I cut at 140 inches per minute, 50 thousandths of an inch cut, and if I had any comments I could put them in there. There is a lot of extra stuff in here I did not expect, but it's going to be very useful. It's going to replace a bunch of paperwork and Excel files that I have, keeping everything kind of separate. So Charlie, you did an awesome job with this program. Just the program alone, thumbs up. The touch plate alone gets another thumbs up. So overall, coming from me, 2 thumbs up. Now you've seen the Triquetra touch plate at work, and now you're probably wondering, is it going to work with your machine? Well, it's designed to work with a wide variety of machines, including those that run Gerbil, Mach 3, and Easel. It will work with my old X-Carve, and it'll work with new X-Carves that have the X controllers. If you have a CNC that supports probing, uses standard G-code or Mach 3, it'll probably work for you.